Hey peeps, it's Tripl-L, and today I'm here to talk to you about an anime that just premiered recently, Tales of Zestiria. Zestiria. We'll go with Zestiria. Sorry, my pronunciation might be off. I just wasted a couple of seconds on that. Anyway, no, this is the first episode, my thoughts, my impressions, and for first-time viewers who might be curious about the show itself, I'll give you a bit of background, and I'll give you my thoughts on whether or not, it's worth it to kind of watch this show. Anyway, let's just get down to it. Tales of, you probably heard of it, it's a video game series. This is not the first Tales of adaptation. There was Tales of the Abyss way back when, and they've always had OVAs. This time it's done by ufotable, which is pretty high pedigree. And if you, in the episode, you can see art that's very reminiscent of ufotable style. So that's a good plus for the whole series. But ufotable has also been known to have certain management issues in terms of budgeting and just overworking themselves. We've seen it with God Eater, and this might happen again, who knows. Okay, that was just speculation. That's me, doom and gloom. Anyway, let's actually talk about this episode. So I think for first-time viewers, it is worth the watch, and you'll probably enjoy it because the Tales of series is on average good. The stories for some of the installments might be, kind of predictable, kind of cliche, like whatever people would like to say. But for me, it's the characters. The characters are really what sells the game for me. And that's one reason I really enjoy the Tales games. Mostly the characters and seeing all the characters doing stuff. Now, in terms of an anime adaptation, a lot of things can go wrong. And one thing I remember that happened back in the day during the Tales of the Abyss anime was that one of the big complaints is that how fast or the transitions are just so quick. And in terms of transitions, in terms of scene transitions, we kind of have that here with Zestiria, because we have, if you look at the episode, the scenes are just skipping so fast. We're just going from one spot to the next, and that's the thing with a video game adaptation of a Tales game. Because they're so long, we're probably just going to be going at this at a super fast pace. So if you enjoy super fast pace, well, good, you have something pretty cool happening here. But this episode also introduces a lot of elements, and it's kind of at a breakneck pace. It's really hard to keep up with them if you're not listening. So, at least in terms of that, if you're okay with the fast pace and you're okay with the scenes jumping from set piece to set piece, just going on to a different plot point at every scene, then you will most likely be okay with this. It really requires you to be attentive to know what's going on. At least that's my overall impression. Overall, for now, just for the first-time viewers, anyone who's curious about the show, give it a try. See if you like the pacing, because chances are the way they're cutting through scenes is going to be that pace is going to be maintained. Okay, now let's actually talk about the episode, because I very much enjoyed it. I haven't played this particular Tales game. I might buy the game right after I record this, and I will let you guys know about it. But overall, I like it. The thing is, there's a lot of elements going on, and let's just talk about all the elements that are present in this episode. First off, the mist. Okay, there's a giant mist over a town, and people are kind of watching it. And that comes to a culmination at the end of the episode. Second, the Shepherd legend. We're introduced to lore, Shepherd. We're introduced that it's an old story that people believe is true. Then we get the concepts of ley lines happening all throughout. Ley lines connect the world. They keep the balance of nature in check. And through that we find maybe the problem here is that the balance of nature is just totally out of whack. The ley lines get corrupted halfway through. Like you can kind of see the blue turning into black. Next, we find out about a dragon. Then we find out about, or also there's a fox hanging around that can turn into a human, and it's attacking an invisible girl who the main character for this episode can't see, the princess can't see. We find out about a sword that apparently the shepherd's gonna grab. We find out about an astronomer who is probably dead at the end of the episode, who was watching the mist. Overall, there's a lot of things going on, and you have to keep up with all these things to actually understand what's going on in the episode. Even then, it's still kind of, a lot of things are there just to set up the fact that this is a prologue. We are not going to know what a lot of things going on here are. I know the reasoning for why the girl can't see the child that was attacking her at the culmination of the episode, at the climax. I understand that. Because I know enough spoilers to know what she is. But otherwise, it's just what's going on, right? It's just too much happening at the same time. And then let's actually talk about the story of this episode. So this is effectively the journey of the princess. I do not know her name because they did not say her name enough times for me to catch it. The princess, during a kind of crisis because there's the phenomena of a strange weather pattern in the mist, she goes out to look for a subordinate that they had recently sent to a village to scout out if there was a sickness going on. So she goes off, you know, she encounters some bandits, they kind of win. The fight scene was great, let's face it. The fight scene and cinematography for the fight scene is great. Okay, so we go past there, you know, we go to a town, we see that things are kind of, the atmosphere is super ominous. And no, we leave one of our guys there. Then she continues on. She finds finally the girl who was out there somehow studying with the astronomer who had done some serious hardcore cave diving. But just when she shows up, shit hits the fan. It hits the fan so hard that you could really... It's so messy. There's no way that's going to get cleaned up. But no, in all honesty, with that moment, I felt was... Why did it happen at the moment that the princess got to the subordinate? You know, like... I hope this is a plot point. I hope that she is the one that's causing all these things to happen. Because then that makes sense. Because why couldn't it happen like 1 hour after or 1 hour before? No, it had to happen the exact moment she got there. I know that's just the plot happening. But at the same time, you know, I'm going to keep my fingers crossed. Maybe she's the cause. Because later on, after we see... Actually, this was kind of tragic. Her friends getting sucked into that tornado. And the subordinate falling into the crevice in the ground. She goes back to the town and, you know, it's like, it's pretty sad that whole place got destroyed. And then we see the little girl coming out, and, you know, as I see that little girl, I'm just thinking, oh my god, you're gonna die. Do not get anywhere near that girl. You're gonna die. You're gonna die. Oh my gosh, it's about to happen. And then on cue, the freaking mist comes out of nowhere and snipes her. Like, you know, I have to assume that it's the princess's fault. Maybe her being there is just a giant target on everyone's back. And then we find the dragon that was actually underground. So I have no idea how that dragon got out into the sky. But hey, it's there. And overall, you know, there's a lot of stuff happening in the episode. So I don't even know how to tackle this in terms of a video format because there's just so much going on. Let's just go highlights. Oh, one thing I want to talk about. It was absolutely stupid at the beginning of the episode when the guys were saying that the best way that they had to strengthen their army so that they could send them to a town that had a disease. I mean, I understand you send an army into an area after a natural disaster strikes, but whose idea is it to like recruit a bunch of new people and send them off to an illness, like an illness-stricken area? That's stupid, and I'm glad the girl called her out on them, called them out on it, because like, what kind of idea is that? That's a stupid idea. That's just people trying to bolster up their army. No, she called them out. I really enjoyed that part. Anyway, let's actually talk. This episode, it had good elements. I'm so sorry that this is all over the place. It's just I do not know how to tackle this in particular. The action is great. The fight with the Fox Bandit and the fight with the Fox Bandit and the Invisible Girl later on were great. Absolutely great. Things were absolutely chaotic during that last scene because just so many things were going on. That was great. The background's pretty good. Like, it really, the atmosphere is really kind of sad, kind of spiritless. So I really enjoy that. In terms of the art, you know, the art is on point. That's just the fact of the matter. Let's see, what other things? There's a lot of things set up. This is the prologue, and it just gave us a lot to think about between the shepherd, the mist, the fox, the ley lines, the bandit girl, the dragon. There's a lot of things to think about. Let's see, what else do we have? Yeah, no, that's pretty much it. So I guess if you were to sum up this episode, it's princess goes off on an adventure. All of her friends die when the end of the world starts because of tornado. A dragon comes out of nowhere, and now the princess is probably mentally disturbed. In all honesty, that last sequence with the dragon, I really thought that was like some kind of dream sequence because everything was just so unreal. But I guess it wasn't. Anyway, that's pretty much it for me, peeps. I will say one thing. I really like the opening. It was at the end of the episode, and I want to say something. The girl from Tales of Berseria is there, Velvet, and that's odd because it was I understood that Tales of Berseria is a distant prequel to Zestiria, so that's odd. And to see her there, that's some pretty good cross promotion on Bandai Namco's part. I think that's the company that does Tales. Anyway, peeps, that's pretty much it for me. Let me know what you thought of the episode because there's a lot of things going on. It's a video game adaptation. It's going to be super fast paced. It has to introduce a lot of elements that would otherwise be introduced over the course of a 60-hour plus game. Yeah, so peeps, just let me know. Till next time, have a good day.